Hi, I'm Sue.
And I'm Lisa.
We have been teaching for a very long time. Looking back, we realized that we didn't know what we didn't know about being educators. We are simply here to share our stories, and hopefully you'll laugh along with us. The names have been changed to protect the innocent and the guilty.
Hi, welcome to our episode on stupid rules.
Stupid rules.
Stupid rules that we have had to endure at school.
Yeah, I found out when they built the new school, parked.
The new addition. The new.
Thank you for the words. This is Emily. Her brain is young. She remembers the words. Addition?
The new addition, yeah.
Good job.
Addition.
You know that structure that was
Structure. Yeah, and they had all these stupid rules about what we could or couldn't do in this new section, and they sent out the fire marshal to tell us how too much stuff on the walls. What were all
Too
the
much
rules?
papers and all go up in flames.
Well, I think it was 10%.
Yes, you could only cover the walls with 10%.
10% flammable thing. Paper. And
Because it would cause a fire.
it would cause a fire. I didn't know paper would just go, I think I'll start on fire.
That was a math lesson. Oh, let's all calculate.
Yeah,
Well,
really.
it's 10% of our classroom walls.
Let's do area and perimeter, and then we'll...
Anyway, we had to move into these new rooms like in March. We had to just go up there, and they didn't have any curtains ordered, or they were on back order, so we just had no curtains.
And...
It's just they didn't order them.
Yeah,
that wasn't a rule. They
That was a rule.
I don't know,
By the time
because
you moved into that room.
you would think they'd be a little more ready for us.
We didn't give you curtains because they're a fire hazard.
Yeah. Well, all I know is I thought I was really, really clever, and I had those ginormous sticky notes, you know the ones.
Yeah.
And I stuck on the window, and of course we didn't have any way to even get to the curtains, so I would climb up on the windowsill, which was like 2.5 inches wide, and I would move the sticky note throughout the day, and I would teach a lesson about how the sun seemed to move through the sky. it's the earth rotating, but I'd have to get up there like every hour and move it. And I thought I was really clever, super clever. And I got a phone call. You know the one. Miss S. Yes. I noticed you have something in your windows. I'm like, yes, isn't that smart? I was figuring out how to have a curtain. And I said, it's kind of like the surface of the sun in here. And he said, I don't know. I've never been to the surface of the sun.
Well, I'll tell you, it's hot.
I'm like,
Very, very hot.
I said, okay. But I need to have my kids be able to see what I'm writing on the board, and I have this interpreter for the deaf. Well, I was told I got a letter from the fire marshal, and I happened to be holding it in my hand because I printed it because it was so stupid. Corridors. 10% of all wall areas allowed to be artwork, teaching materials, or other combustible materials. Continuous tack strips are not allowed. Continuous tack strips. Okay. A minimum of 4 feet of separation will be between tack strips. Did you know even between the tack strips they have laws, like rules about... Well, anyway...
Well, these laws, Sue, are to keep everybody safe.
But my question was, how does a sticky note self-combust? Because the principal said that it was not a very good idea, and I was a little upset by this. So I got a letter, again, a little bit more detail here. Fire marshal.
So in this letter, he's explaining to all of the teachers and the staff why we can't have all these things that will explode if they start on fire. Because he basically told me that if a kid lit the sticky note with a lighter, that the window would explode and that we could all die. Okay. So then he was interviewed by a little local paper. And here is his quote. I call him Mr. Male Fire Marshal.
Mr. Male Fire Marshal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mr. Mail believes that the risk for destructive fires is higher than it was years ago, back in the day. Part of the risk, he says, stems from the occupants of the building themselves, the children. Children these days have no outlet for their anger. When I was a kid, you would go out and box each other. But now it's... I'm going to get you because of what's on TV, he said. I personally feel there's more chance of a fire today because the kids, don't know how to turn their anger into something better.
Wow.
This is truly what was written. You can Google what I just said just now, and you can find it.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
So I decided to.
So you can't have your papers because a kid might light them on fire.
Right, because
Okay.
they don't, because
The
they
paper
don't,
on the windows.
they don't know
Okay.
how to get rid of their anger.
Okay.
They don't box.
Okay.
He used to box. So I decided to send out an email just to like you. And probably.
I don't remember getting it.
I know, but it's a long time ago.
Yeah, yeah.
And here it was. The district fire life safety at our school now includes a new rule about students and staff who pass gas throughout the day. This dangerous practice of personally emitting combustible methane gas is prohibited. Fart meters are being installed in many areas of your school. If the methane levels are deemed too high, offending students or staff will be asked to leave the premises, which sounded kind of good. Staff will be put on leave with no pay. As soon as our school looks as sterile and uninspiring as a place you can learn, we will be happy. And then I just said,
Oh my God.
Watch the movie 9 to 5. Remember the movie 9 to 5?
Yes.
And they couldn't have any workplace things.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
I said, just watch that. Thank you for your cooperation. So,
So needless to say,
I
you
took
turned
this-
it.
Yeah. Oh,
But you had to take papers
I
down.
took the sticky notes
You know, the
down.
thing is, when they talk about 10%, our bulletin boards take up way over 10%.
Just
of
my
it.
desk alone was covered with paper.
Really, mine too, the way it piles
Yeah,
up.
but
It
I
tapers all
will
the
say,
time.
yeah, I just took it down, sucked it up, and lived on the sun.
we did get curtains. Rather,
Eventually.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, and they're wonderful.
Hey guys, but what about the wooden spoon?
Brought you the spoon.
The last kid in line
Had to walk to the next
walk
class.
to the next
Yeah, so
class.
we had a
Yeah.
rule that in order so there's not a bottleneck at the
Yeah.
lunch line, that we would have a way of signaling it, and that was
The wooden spoon.
the wooden spoon.
The last kid.
So poor last kid
Yeah.
had to run this spoon to the
Right.
next class
Yeah.
and then miss like
And if you
3
had
to 5
duty,
minutes of lunch.
if you had duty, you were like 20 minutes late if you were the last person to have. And we tried to have it all work out so that if it was your duty time, that you got to be first in line with a spoon. And it was just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
it's
so you had to
much-
wait for the spoon. But then some people there was one day I'm like,
Waiting
the
for
kids
the-
are like, "Where's the spoon?" I'm like, "I don't know. I haven't gotten the spoon yet." And it was like the people had forgotten and
To
we
bring
went to
you the
lunch
spoon.
with the spoon. When I was a little kid, the wooden spoon was terrifying because when we went to lunch,
There's a pedal.
no, when we went to lunch, if you wouldn't finish your plate, the lunch lady would come with this big wooden spoon
and pile it all
and
on.
pile it up with all the different foods, and then you had to take the one bite.
Tickers.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
That's terrible. That's like
It was
child
horrible.
That's abusive.
I know, and then they just go on to the next kid.
Tickers.
Oh, that's so gross. What on earth was the purpose?
I got really good at shoving food in the
No, what would be the purpose?
milk cartons.
Yeah.
Or paying people, I will pay you.
No,
Yeah,
I have it
the
all
wooden
on here, I
spoon
don't-
did not last very long.
No, we all kind of protested
Days.
that one.
Days.
Days.
Maybe even a day.
That really makes me think about how unsterile things could be, especially during these times of cleanliness. And I would have the kids, I had these passes that boys pass, girls pass, and they
Yes.
would take it to the
The
bathroom.
bathroom
And then-
passes.
and then-
Not to offend anybody that uses them, but
Well, I did. And then it's like, where? So I made a necklace out of it. And then we'd always find it like under the sink. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
What? Where was it?
I don't know. That always kind of I never understood that. Having a kid take
No.
something to the bathroom with them and then carrying it back. Because,
No.
kids aren't always the best at washing their hands.
No, and there's so few kids roaming the halls in elementary schools. Hey, what are you doing? And then the rule, you had to raise your hand. Yeah, go to the bathroom. I always had a checkout sheet, and if the checkout sheet was hanging there, they got to go one girl, one boy. And then if the checkout sheet was down, it just meant we were trying to learn something at the time.
I actually had 2 bathroom passes, but they hung on magnets.
Yeah.
And so if they they didn't have to raise their hand and ask.
No.
They just knew that there was 2 of them, and if 2 were
There you
slid
go.
over, so as they go out the door, they would slide it over. So a student would look up and go, "Oh, one slid over."
Yeah,
or if
yeah.
they're both slid over, they know they have to
Yeah,
wait.
yeah.
And then they would just slide them back because I didn't want them taking them to the
Did you know
bathroom.
there's we've done some deep dives on these rules? Okay, there is a school. I'm looking online. A school in Chicago. It's a high school that limits the number of times a student is allowed to leave class to visit the bathroom to 3 per semester. 3.
They have to give them other times to go.
No, well, I mean, I suppose the principal explained to parents that students may use a restroom visit as an excuse to miss class. Shut up!
Oh. You get really good at
So
watching kids, and you're like, okay, it's interesting how they always want to go at this certain time.
oh yeah, all
Another
together
student from
all
another
together.
class.
Yeah. They see them outside.
Another one that I think was an interesting rule was back when you and I were in high school.
Oh, back in the day, absolutely.
We had, believe it or not, listeners, we had to wear these gym uniforms in high school.
Called gym suits.
They were called gym suits, and they either had sleeves or no sleeves, but they were one piece. So they had a zipper down the front.
Oh, yeah.
If you can kind of just imagine, I'll try to explain. It was a zipper down the front, and then it had like elastic band around it, and then the shorts were connected, and they were striped. Ours were blue with striped, and I think yours were red and striped.
Yeah, let's just.
And you step into them.
Oh yeah,
we'll post a picture.
I'm posting it right now.
Yeah,
I've got a picture of myself with a friend.
And you'd pull it up and you'd zip it up, and oh my gosh, they were so ugly, and you could pull them way down.
But people try to like make them look sexy and cool, and let me just tell you, those of us who developed a little early, we just had this. It was just disgusting. And you know what?
And the boys got to wear
shirts and shorts.
We had to wear this.
Disgusting.
Oh, they were ugly. They were kind of like a romper in a way.
Yeah.
Kind of like
what a 6-month-old would wear. I think when my boys had a little romper like that.
It was so funny because when we were in high school,
Oh.
we kind of protested. We're like, we are not wearing these anymore.
Oh, no.
And so we
We
put like on the front. We put like prison system,
for sure.
with numbers. I think we put
yeah.
the teacher's name, and then we wrote on the back like, state penitentiary,
Didn't
put
you
numbers, and then
get
we
rid
had
of them?
T-shirts over, and she's like, take those T-shirts off, and we whipped them off, and we're like, we turned around and we're like state pen, and we got in so much trouble, but
Too
we
bad.
still had to wear those ugly gym uniforms. So I pity the people.
Have you ever seen the picture that I have?
Yeah, I have looked to show my children like this is what I had to wear.
Well, I'm going to post it on our Facebook page, so please take a peek. And to my friend
They were
Lydia,
so ugly.
Lydia looks awesome in this picture. I do not.
Oh, see, I just found them like you can actually buy those.
Oh, no.
retro
I have a
ones.
picture of me wearing it in high school. High school.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm going to post that right
Well,
there right now.
80 years ago.
Oh, you're funny. Funny.
Oh, another rule.
Mm-hmm.
How about, the lice rule?
Oh, yeah, we have a new life
I had a
rule.
student like about, 10 years ago, and all of a sudden we were sitting in, not that many years ago, I don't remember, and all of a sudden he just goes, I have lice! Right in the middle of class, and I'm like, oh, okay. And
Okay.
he went to the office, he went home, they called him
Yeah.
home, they sent him home, he came back with a
clean.
shaved head,
Yeah, it's cute.
and all was
Cute.
fine. But now,
No. So this was 2 years before I retired. I think it was the year of Chester, ironically. I think so. I think 80% of my class had lice at one time.
Oh, my God.
And a lot of them had it at the same time. And if I saw a little girl trying to play with some other girl's hair, during story, whatever, I would go a little ballistic.
you guys did have, the thing is you used to be able to call home and send them home and
Yes,
say,
just
you need
go
to get home
now,
too, you got to
please.
take care.
Yeah.
Now, no. Now,
No.
if you have a student that has lice, you send them down and they can just put it in a pony and send them back to class because
Yeah.
it's not some communicable disease or
fine.
I don't know. Oh my gosh! So the lice rule,
Yeah,
that's a
fine.
stupid one.
And-
I'm sorry.
No, it is.
I don't think we should be able
And
to pass those on.
and we weren't allowed to check for lice.
No.
So we'd walk by. I'd walk by holding a little pencil, and I'd be like, "Hey," I was just lip there.
I've never. I thank God. I've used a lot of hair products, so I think that.
Oh yeah, it's a good time. Good time.
How about what's another stupid rule
Well, I
that we've
think
had?
going back in time, I don't know if you ever got in trouble for talking a lot, Lisa. Why that was considered?
That's so funny.
Why was
I
that
was
considered-
really quiet, shy.
Okay, really?
No,
Okay, that shut me up.
I spent my whole 4th grade year with my nose in the corner. I'm pretty
So
sure.
the nose in the corner.
Nose in the corner was a stupid rule.
Did you ever have to put gum on your nose?
Yes, I had a music teacher that would make us put gum on our nose.
Did they? And I let kids chew gum pretty much.
Yeah,
Pretty often.
as long as they're not sticking in.
No, but as soon as I found a piece, one time a girl found a piece of gum in the sink, and she's like, "Oh no, she's gonna."
No, y'all can't have gum.
I can't have gum. I remember them drawing a circle on the chalkboard, and you had to put your nose on it. I don't know if I read it to that.
Oh, yeah.
And then I do
That's
remember
abusive.
very, very specifically when I called the teacher. His name was Mr. Carr. I mean, what's that going to do? I just called him Mr. Automobile. I mean, that's whoa, that's pretty bad. I had to write Mr. Carr 500 times.
Yeah, I actually never had to do that where you have to write sentences for correcting a behavior, but I had a teacher that had, the same teacher that had us put our gum on our nose.
Yeah.
And you know what, though? If you sit through a whole class with gum on your nose, you really don't do it ever again.
Really?
You don't, or you
It
get really
changes
good
you.
at tucking it in your cheek, kind
Yeah.
of thing. But anyway, she had a hot room. It was like a practice room because it was like an old,
What's a hot room?
Yeah, so it was we had our choir room, and then there was these like practice rooms from when it was band,
Oh, I was
rooms.
in band.
But one was significantly hot, and I think the temperature was cranked
Oh,
up
I
in
see.
there.
Okay.
And on the front it was
wasn't like a
decorated the
sauna.
doghouse. It looked like Stoopy's doghouse.
Okay.
And if you got in trouble, she'd send you to the doghouse.
That's child abuse.
No, it was funny. So like you just knew. I'm not going to that doghouse.
Oh.
It didn't take many times.
Oh, we're never going to say where
I never,
we went to school.
I never went to the doghouse,
Oh,
but I
that's
did have to
good.
sit with gum on my nose, which
That's
was
good.
embarrassing.
Yeah.
There's some rules about, when you're talking about the letter, with the 10% rule,
Oh, yeah,
that
the
kind of
fire,
stuff.
yeah.
Not having fires and rule or fire.
Well, they
like you
didn't want
can't
us-
light anything in
Yeah,
school,
they-
like no candles.
Well, but you weren't supposed to light stuff on fire. And I taught first grade those 2 years.
So this is a good rule.
The
To
fire.
not have fires.
Well, true.
Yeah.
But I mean, we were carving pumpkins
Okay.
because that's what cool teachers did.
Yeah.
I mean, we carved pumpkins, and
Yeah.
I had one of my best friends was the paraprofessional for special ed in my room, and she saved my life. You ready? Okay.
Yes.
So she did. So we all carved groups. We had cooperative learning, and we carved 5 pumpkins. And so we were singing the song, 5 Little Pumpkins. Okay. And so as I would sing the song, I would light the candle, because there were no such thing as electric candles.
Right.
So it's 5 little pumpkins sitting on a gate. The first one says, "Oh my." Okay, and I lit it, man, and it was just probably the match. I don't think they had those big long lighters even. I mean,
Probably
it
not.
was the 80s, and all of a sudden, my friend Jennifer comes up to me and she said, "Hey, don't move. Your hair is on fire," and it was right in front of the whole.
Well, in the 80s, you had a lot of products.
Well, I had a lot of products in my hair, and I confess that there was a lot of hairspray going on, and so she just grabbed the hair like that was on fire.
Oh, my
And she
gosh.
scraped it out and just threw it on the ground and
Oh
saved my
my
life.
gosh.
The kids didn't even know
Kids
it.
go home. Hey,
No.
what
They
happened to
didn't-
school day? My teacher started the hair on fire.
But they didn't even know she was that cool about it.
Wow.
So then she
Can you imagine if she wouldn't have? Like if you were
No,
a teacher.
I don't even know. She saved my life. And then the kids just said, "What smells funny?" The rest of the day, the whole school.
It's like
smelled
when somebody see, a rule that should be is people should not be able to make put in the microwave like fish and stuff like
That's
that. 'cause
true.
of
I used to
smell.
get in trouble
so
for
you,
that, yeah.
you had hair
Yeah,
smell all
yeah.
day.
But the thing is, we had to teach all the music back in the day. I had to teach this, so I wanted to make it fun. 5 little pumpkins, whatever. Boom.
5 little monk.
5 little poosh. That's all I can think of whenever I hear that song, which is not that often, so I'm fine.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So here's another kind of interesting rule that we had at a school that I worked at is having beverages in school. And
What kind of beverages?
well, water, coffee,
Oh, okay.
or soda.
So you're
I'm not-
saying like a coffee
if
mug?
you were, we had a long letter saying that you could carry your beverage
Okay.
from A to B.
What's an A to B?
So like your room to the teacher's lounge, or from the teacher's lounge
Well, what
to
if
your
you
room.
need to go to the
A
bathroom on
B
the
to A.
way? Is that
No, that would be wrong.
that would be A to B to C?
That would be an A to a, that would be
A,
an A to a B to a C, and that. No.
But if you went A, B, C, and then back to A, no.
No,
No.
it had to be an A to B.
So-
So you
Oh.
you couldn't go like A B C D.
So
you couldn't
could-
make a big circle.
Could you go A to B, set it down, go to C, D, come back to B?
No.
Wait, why not? That's
That was the
stupid.
thing.
Such a
You had to be.
Wait a minute.
No, seriously.
So you were really just a 10-year-old. Because you might spill. I will say.
I don't know.
There
A to
were
B.
there were sometimes drops of coffee this is one I don't think you've ever heard, but way long ago during the Christmas break, holiday break, winter break. Okay, during the break, they would wax the floors, and we would come in and work because it was 2 full weeks off. And this one teacher came in and she wanted to watch TV while she was working. So it was TV on a cart. So she pushed this TV all the way from the office to her room, and she left a trail of where the wax got pushed away, and it was ruined. She ruined the floor, and they made like a memorial
It takes
trail.
them like
I know.
days.
So they hung signs. The custodians hung signs that said, "This is the so and so's
Trail?
the wax trail." Because
So they waxed.
they had waxed it, and she had grabbed the TV, pushed
it, and left
the trail,
ruts.
and we called it the wax wax trail.
Oh my gosh, the teacher's name Wax Trail. Oh my gosh, that's hysterical.
Yeah.
So looking on, you found some online. I have a couple
Okay, yeah, let me hear
that
some.
people had posted that I think is very funny. These are actual rules that people posted.
Okay, let me see.
Here's
Hit me,
one.
hit me.
Here's one. You are not allowed to expose your armpits.
Oh, I am right now. Look,
I know. You need to shave.
no, I don't.
Okay. You're not allowed to expose. It would make sense if they said this was for health purposes, but they told it was because we might distract the opposite sex classmates.
By my sexy
With our
armpit.
sex-
What?
Yeah, that was a rule.
Sexy for my armpit. Okay.
Um,
Okay. That's a good
Another one was no
Okay.
fist bumps. No fist bumps. Remember the old fist bumps?
Aw, I just did
No
one.
fist bumps, yeah.
Why?
Because kids might accidentally punch other kids in the face.
Okay, that I could see. And you could say, nope, I didn't mean to.
Oh.
Okay, here's one. Teachers are no longer allowed to use red ink because this is now in Australia and in the UK, but still, it gives psychological damage.
It did. I hate getting my papers back. Which is
I
so
use like
bad.
green and orange. I made up
Okay,
words.
how about this?
Okay,
In middle school, they were banned from standing in circles at recess because of potential scandalous activity going
Tell
on
me
in
more.
the middle.
In the middle of the
Right,
circle?
but they were allowed to stand in squares.
What are they doing? Trying to spin the bottle?
I don't know. What's that? They could not stand in circles.
What?
They could only stand in squares.
That's a stupid.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
How about this
you
one?
got?
The middle school banned salt and pepper from being used in the cafeteria, claiming it was too unhealthy. But they still sold Mountain Dew.
Of course.
Salt and pepper. Salt
Oh,
and pepper.
pepper.
Oh my gosh. If any guy tried to skip the showers, they had to show up after school for a supervised shower
Oh, that's
practice
disgusting. Again,
with the gym
child
teacher
abuse.
as an adult. So
That's really
creepy.
stupid.
Now.
That's really creepy.
Here's a
No,
funny
no,
one.
no.
They in primary school there was a rule that if one child had to go to the bathroom, the entire class had to go with them.
What is the teacher? All right, boys and girls, teacher needs to go poop. We've already heard that in another unit.
Sue's got to poop.
Oh, that's next episode. Don't give it away, Lisa. And
Oh, yes.
yeah,
that's-
episode 4. But all right, boys and girls, we're all going to the bathroom because mommy needs to go.
That's kind of when your kids are little. Yeah.
So I think it was really fun getting together with our friends and talk about rules.
was,
But
yes.
what's funny is we were talking about rules, and we have a few on this podcast, but we have an entire podcast next time,
Yes.
and it's all about strange things that would happen that you really couldn't believe. And it wasn't. It was an SFD, and if you want to look that up, you look it up. So we were hoping that everybody would be willing to subscribe. Subscribing doesn't mean that you have to pay money. It just means that you'll get an update when we post a new episode. And hey, share them with some friends that need to laugh, especially as the school year is about to start. You know, share our podcast, and hey, thanks for listening. And
I'm really excited. We've actually had people listening from France,
we have one in Edinburgh.
Germany,
I have an Edinburgh story.
United Kingdom. I'm really excited. This is
Someone
really
in Florida.
fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, we're actually international.
people, you have to listen to us. Our kids never did. So maybe that's the point. But we
is
will
the point.
see you next time.
Yes. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. We didn't know what we didn't know. We'll see you next time.